The reason that CALM is making this video is to help all of us who are mandated reporters, who have contact with kids on a daily basis, coaches and teachers and after-school programs and anyone in contact with a child that sees something. We want that reported because we know it takes the whole community to help end child abuse.
A teenager came to me and she stated that she had been abused by her mother. She was very ashamed about this fact, and therefore she did not want to tell anyone what had happened. Her sister and her were getting into an argument. Mom was a little frustrated and utilized a weapon against her. She was able to come to me, felt confident in doing so, and we were able to share with her that it was not her fault, that she did the right thing in telling us.
And I was a really young teacher when I first moved to Santa Barbara, and I was 21. And there was a young girl who came to school with bruises, and and I never really asked, even though I suspected something was going on. It haunts me to this day because 15 years later, 20 years later, when she was a young woman, she killed somebody. And I knew that part of that was what was going on when she was in the 3rd grade when I taught her. At that time, there was nothing. There was not mandated reporting. It's such an important key. If I had had the tools, if I had had somebody telling me this is what you look for, and this is how you report, and it's not a big scary thing to do this, I would have been right there for that little girl.
Some of the red flags I've seen over the years is either aggression towards their friends, aggression towards myself, acting out within group situations where I hadn't seen that before. Also, when children withdraw, that's always a red flag for me because little children don't withdraw. Little children want to be part of everything.
If you are a mandated reporter and you suspect abuse of any kind, it's really critical to make the report immediately to Child Welfare Services. That is a requirement under the law. Your initial report should be made by phone as soon as possible. You mustn't wait till the end of the working day or wait until the next day. Do it immediately. Your written report should follow in 36 hours, and that is the law. One thing that's important to remember is the person who receives a disclosure is required to make the report themselves. So it's not enough to say, oh, my supervisor will do it, or I'll ask the principal of the school, or my colleague, or the therapist of the child. The person who receives the disclosure and has suspicion of abuse must make the report.
I help do the word comfort. It always comes to my mind. I help come to them, give them some comforting words. Again, share with them that it's not their fault, that they have the opportunity to share, and that's most important, that they're able to feel comfortable with me and with others that they can trust.
Some of the things to avoid if a child discloses is to get angry yourself and talk about things that you'd like to do to the perpetrator or make negative statements. Because sometimes children have very ambivalent feelings towards the people who abuse them, and that might scare them. It's important not to make any promises or guarantees about what may or may not happen, but also don't interrogate the child. Don't try to extract more information from the child than you actually need to make the report.
There's a couple different ways we respond to child abuse and neglect. The first way is to, if there's imminent danger or immediate danger, we go out right away. The second way we respond is not immediately. There are most of our reports are around general neglect. 60% of our reports that come in the state of California are about neglect. And so for those in the less urgent matters, we have a 10-day window in which we try to make a person-to-person contact with that child. Sometimes, though, the family needs extra support, and so we do have a program called Voluntary Family Maintenance. The family is maintained, the children are in the home with their parents, and all the services that we can think of to prevent abuse and neglect are offered, including CALM services for the children and for the parents, substance abuse counseling, mental health treatment, housing, all these references to the outside community that we can offer. we link them to the services and case manage it for 6 months to a year.
Kids need safe adults. Even if they're not going to say something, you can see minute changes and sort of wonder, what's that red flag? What is that that's coming up? And you know, maybe it's not a big thing. Maybe parents just need some support in their households, which is common. But you know, we need important adults in our kids' lives. It's our job as teachers to be mandated reporters. We sign a contract that says that. It's never easy to make a report. Lots of times we have a relationship with the families, but we never want to see a child hurt, and our job is really to make sure that the children are safe and successful.
At COM, we wish that child abuse didn't exist, but sadly it does. And those of us that are mandated reporters can really help a child by reporting any suspicion of abuse. It really makes a difference in a child's life and be the path towards healing and a safe and happy life for them.